Welcome to the Truth from the Booth. I am Chris Figueroa, also known as DJ Prophet. And this is where DJs, artists, creatives, and entrepreneurs pull back the curtain on the stories, struggles, and lessons that have shaped their success. Real conversations, no gatekeeping, just timeless wisdom, music culture, and the mindset to help you level up. So whether you're behind the decks or building your legacy, this podcast is for you. And today's amazing guest is a Los Angeles-based DJ. He is a 5-time Red Bull 3-Style US finalist. He's been on VH1 Master of the Mix finalist. He's a Goldie Awards finalist, HMC and Def Jam champion, Phase Games winner, Beat Junkies Institute instructor. He's been on radio. He's been on TV. He's traveled the globe. He's got multiple residencies in the United States, also across the universe. He is the amazing DJ Dynamix. Welcome to the Truth from the Booth.
Thank you, man.
No doubt, man.
Forgot 2026 West Coast DMC champ, man. What's going on?
That's the fresh one. That's what we're here to talk about. You know, you got another championship to put on the resume. Congratulations on that. You are a hardworking battle machine. You are a true warrior in the game. I witnessed it firsthand. Been a friend and fan and brother in arms with you for the past almost 20 years now. That I think that we have been in. In this game. And I just want to talk about, your journey and, who is DJ Dynamix?
I am a dad now.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Dad life, man. You know how dad life is, Prophet, man.
I do.
It's cool. I feel like DJing is a great career to be a father for because we're there during the day for the most part, right? And then the only time we have to leave is at night. It sucks if we have to go on tour, right? Then we're gone for an extended period of time, but like, I'm not on tour that often. So
yeah,
especially not now. You know what I mean? I feel like now it's just good to have opportunities at home. I think after COVID, it was more like, all right, I got to figure out a way where I don't physically have to be somewhere to like thrive. You know what I mean? To survive.
Yeah. So, I think that being a dad, being a dad obviously changes your perspective on what's important. Right. And like you said, I always mention this all the time, like being a DJ is the best job for fatherhood because you get to wake up with them in the mornings all day while they're active and really get to bond with your kid rather than having to be at a 9 to 5 and then get home at night when they're going to bed or just eat dinner. And it really gives you a hands-on experience with them because being a DJ, obviously we're kids ourselves. There's something about us that keeps us young and playing our whole lives. And we have the energy and the imagination to, help our children thrive, whether it's playing at the park or with their toy collection or storytelling, and just being there physically is so important these days. So yes, I'm a father of 3. I've been doing, my eldest is 22 years old. How old's your baby now?
My baby's 3. The oldest
3.
is also 1 and she helps me out with my parties.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Don't blink, man. It goes by fast. My kids started school today. One just started college. One just started their senior year. And my baby girl just started 5th grade. So she's at the end of elementary school. So it's an amazing experience. So take it all in as you can.
Yeah. 100%.
So let's get to the beginning of your career though, before fatherhood, before all the championships and the battles. Tell us where this passion for this art form that we love came from for you.
Because I was around music all my life, right? Like parents played music. My sisters all were like pretty proficient on the piano, like classically trained. The oldest sister had a career in singing and music in the Philippines. She had a lot of prominence out there during her time. And then she taught me how to play piano by ear. And I think that helped shape a lot of my learning curve when it came to DJing and music. So when I was in elementary school, I think my older cousin was a DJ. And I would see it and I was like, man, that thing looks super cool. Sometimes we'd go to family parties and we'd be at cousin's house and they'd have turntables out. And they used to have like the long mixers with the sound effects. And then we just press the sound effects all day. Bomb drop, pew! Heat gun, like we would like try to scratch or whatever. But I think that's where the interest came from, just because I was around it. And then I think by the time I was in 2nd grade, I made the decision that I wanted to become a DJ. And then it wasn't until about maybe the end of middle school, beginning of high school, where I started really like taking those steps towards like developing those skills. So, okay, so like us growing up in LA, we were spoiled. Like the bar is different here than anywhere else as far as technicality and yeah, just a barrier of entry for DJing because we had Tony G, Julio G, and the K-Day Mixmasters in the 80s. We had the Beat Junkies and DJ Revolution on the radio in the 90s. So, like, what we listened to growing up was flawless mixing, technical precision when it came to scratching. Like, everybody that was on the radio was tight. I was
Yeah.
listening to E-Man's mixes. E-Man was super tight during the Big Boy morning show. So, it was just like, all right, well, that's what it's supposed to sound like when you're a DJ.
Yeah, the bar was set very high for us. So in order, like you said, in order to get in the game, you had to be efficient, at least be able to hold down the basic skills of clean mixing, because anything else, I mean, I went to the East Coast as a kid and heard their DJs after being on in LA. I was like, what are these guys doing? Just slamming records, cutting in, no blends, talking too much.
Yeah, man. It was just a different world, I think, for us in comparison to everywhere else around the world. So once I started taking those steps, I had an Iowa like system, right, with the turntable on top, the CD player in the middle, tape deck on the bottom, and I used to make pause tapes. I didn't know that was a thing until I started teaching at Scratch, and then Chalk was like, "Oh yeah, I used to make pause tapes." Like, yeah, we used to do that, and I was like, I didn't know other people did this. I just
Yeah.
didn't have turntables, and I was trying to make mixtapes, and that was the only way I could do that. I didn't know producers were doing that as well.
Yeah, that's
So
dope. So you came from just your imagination and it ended up being from the cloth. That's what, that's what guys were doing, not just you.
yeah, yeah, and let be a lesson to everybody that wants to get like whatever new hot technology is out. Don't necessarily need it as long as you have the imagination and you can like kind of MacGyver your mixes. It'll work. That's why like now I just do hella videos on like the tiniest controllers, scratching on my phone because it doesn't matter what you're using as long as there's like low latency and you can still get your ideas out and you can just kind of project whatever message it is that you're trying to get across within
Yeah,
craft.
yeah, yeah. Because guys were doing it on tape decks, guys were doing it on CDs, and now with technology, the digital era, I've seen you on the planes with the little mini controller. I've seen you doing the phone thing, and you make it look and sound amazing. It's not as easy as you make it look, that's for sure. But when did you actually step into, like, after middle school? Did you buy turntables? Did you
Yeah, I
collect, or
got
did a homie have them?
yeah. So remember like DJ in a box,
Yeah, of
right?
course, I had it too.
Like, yeah, so you get your belt drive turntables and your whatever mixer. I got my equipment from Astros in Burbank,
Shout
right?
out to Astro,
Yeah, I was
LA's #1 DJ store.
yeah, no, I grew up in Echo Park, so like we would always hang out in Glendale and Burbank. So then I went to Astros, asked my parents to take me. My dad hooked me up with my first DJ in a box. Very, very fortunate to have supportive parents. And I always held down my grades, so it was easy to bargain with them. Like, look, I got these grades. It's like, well, it's a lot of money if I spend it. If I spend on it, you better not like waste it. No, no, no,
Right.
be good. So it's a company called Next. They were like orange turntables. I think they were like some offshoot of maybe Vestax or something like that. But they were orange, they were belt driven, and then I didn't even have the matching mixer. I had like a Newmark Blue Dog, right? And then the fader like bled on the first day, and I was like, "This is terrible." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, but I was able to get my ideas out, and I you know what I mean. I would just throw down the records, figure out my mixes, figure out what sounded good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That whole thing was experience, man. Like growing up in our time in like 90s, early 2000s and going record shopping and getting snippet tapes and like album promos. You know what I mean? I remember getting the CD of remember Lena? She was like a hip hop jazz singer. And then she
Yep.
had a remix of All Right with Gangstar on it that Primo produced.
Yep.
Oh, I had that on CD because they threw it in the bag. I think I was shopping at Backside at the time. And like I would get stuff from there. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah, we had to cut and paste a lot of different sources of music. I remember when I first started collecting, I didn't have a full obviously full crates of everything I needed. So I'd be using a Discman with my Gemini belt drive turntable and Scratchmaster 16 and fading out into the Discman and then back into vinyl, trying to mix back and forth and just making it work with what we had.
Yeah. Where did you start record shopping? Like,
Man,
where
I
were you?
started at Lou's Records in San Diego, in Lucadia, actually, was one of the first record stores. I grew up in Oceanside, California.
Okay.
So when I first started DJing, it was Lou's Records. And then I would go down south to San Diego. And then I got into a record pool pretty early. King Size was a record
Okay.
pool with DJ Rags and Mike Soul and all the San Diego guys, Billy Knight. And then I got into Cali Kings
Hey.
later when I moved up to LA, right before I moved up to LA. And that was, I talked to John B about that the other day on our last episode about how amazing that experience was and getting to see all the legends in there and like rub elbows with all the OGs and guys that were in their prime on the radio, Baker Boys, Tony G, shout out
Yeah.
to rest in peace, Frank V.
Yeah.
That was just an amazing experience that was just priceless, because it was kind of like you had to earn your keep and to be invited. It wasn't just like you pay a record pool, give them your credit card and you're in. You had to be vetted. You had to have somebody co-sign you that was a legit member. And to be able to get those records in the mail and go collect our stacks was like, I wish those days still existed. I do love what you guys are doing at the Beat Junkie Institute of Sound. Is like, it's kind of like that. I mean, obviously the students do pay to be in there, but they do have the lineage of a lot of the greats and all the guests that come through. So they do kind of get that experience.
Yeah.
And I know that you are a professor over, what are you calling it? Instructor? Is that what it's called? Instructor? Okay. An instructor over there. How's that experience been for you?
It's been great. I've been working with Shock since I started teaching, right? Because we both, but I started at scratch. You know what I mean? And he was
He was
like
the
professor over
assistant
there.
principal over there or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was involved in 2 other schools afterwards. And then Shock hit me up when they were going to open up the Beat Junkie school. And he's like, yo, man, I would love to have you be a part of this. And I was like, cool. You know what I mean? I'd love to be in the building with you guys and kind of share my knowledge to the kids alongside you guys. Cause man, like I learned from them,
Yeah.
right? I studied their mixtapes, listened to them on the radio. You know what I mean? So I would have to reverse engineer everything. But like, seriously, like just listening to Redmatic and Babu and Mellow and Shock and J-Rock, like even Icy Ice, like that was the foundation for me. You know what I mean? Watch the
Right.
scratch videos.
Learning from the best of the best.
Yeah.
How was it? How was
Available.
it transitioning to be actually teaching? Because it's one thing to do it, right, and it's in your mind. And then how is it to be able to express and to students that are just learning? Was that a tougher transition to actually have to explain how your mind works?
I mean, it's been forever now, so I feel like it came naturally. You know what I mean? My mom was a teacher,
Okay.
and so for me, it was just about like kind of like breaking it down to basic movements and like muscle memory for my students. Because when I started at scratch, I only taught scratching, and so that was easy. It was kind of like figure out what the progression is, what the hand movements are, like how to get them to make their cuts sound good.
Right. It was more physical movement and repetition rather than
Yeah.
philosophy and rules and phrasing and
Right.
more technical. It was more technical than it was mental.
Yeah, it's all drills for the most part when it came to the scratching. It's just showing them the mechanics, drilling it into their head so that like it becomes second nature for them to move their hands in certain ways. And I mean that's how I learned, right? I was watching the videos from like Cuber, Shortcut D, and like that's how I learned how to scratch. And then I just kind of like passed that information forward.
Who is your favorite scratcher of all time? Do you have one?
My favorite scratcher of all time.
Yeah.
And between D Styles, LOD.
Those are two amazing. I mean, D Styles is like from a different universe.
Yeah.
He can manipulate anything into anything. Like I've seen him firsthand crazy.
Yeah, I mean like super duper influential, right? Especially like when I would watch the videos when I was learning, I would just watch how his hands would move and I would just kind of emulate
It's
that.
almost like his hands are boneless.
Yeah,
It felt like, yeah.
it's flow. super nice. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
wasn't like moving all crazy. It just flowed. And I was like, oh, dope. That looks way easier. Like I don't have to stress myself out. I'll just flow with the music.
Yeah, very relaxed style.
Yeah. So
That's dope. So
maybe
let's get into the competition era. Okay, so you've won a lot of battles. You've been a competitor most of your career. What inspired you to start battling? Was it that you wanted to prove you were the best, or was it just a passion for putting together the battle sets? Like, what was it that sparked that interest for you?
I think in the beginning it was just to put myself out there and see where I stood, like skill wise against everybody else. You know what I mean? In the beginning, what it was my I think it was like my first year DJing. They already had a battle at my high school, and the prize was the mixer that matched my turntables. And I was like, I need that.
Yeah,
Let me go for that, right? And it was cool because in that battle, it was like a lot of them were house DJs. So they were just mixing, right? And then I came through and then I did my thing. And then I was able to take that competition and get
yeah,
my match mixer. And then I was able to sell off my old mixer. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it was all good. But like from then on, it was just like battling became a form of marketing for me, right? Because we didn't have YouTube. We
No
didn't
social
have
media.
there was no way to really get your name out. You just either you get on the radio, you know what I mean? Like do all these things. And for me, like battling was an avenue to kind of put my name in a place where it would create demand. And sometimes the prizes would be like a residency, right? So when I did the Mai Tai Rumble back in 2009, 10, that the grand prize was money, but then you would get a residency at the Mai Tai bar. And I wasn't going out to clubs like that, and I wasn't networking like that. So that was my in to get into the nightclub and kind of learn how to hold down a residency. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so from transitioning from battles and winning a nightclub residency, I mean, it's a big difference between a battle routine and a club set. Now,
Yeah.
were you already rocking like house parties and also doing the battling, kind of balancing out the two arts?
Yeah. So when I started doing house parties, you know what I mean, on my turntables. And then I got into the b-boy scene. My friends wanted to check out a practice in Hollywood. It was at a church and it was called Open Hollywood. And that's where LA Breakers, West Coast Rockers, Battle Monkeys, Style Elements, like all these legendary crews. B-Boy Ivan was there. So all these legendary B-boys were there and I didn't know anything about that world, right? I know like B-boying and breakdancing was cool. So I just went to go bring my friends over, you know what I mean? And then I met the DJ. The DJ was DJ Abel. And
Shout out to Abel.
yeah, shout out to Abel. Like he launched my career, and I just asked him. I was like, "Yo, can I? You think like maybe next week or something like that, I could bring some records and put some on?" He's like, "Let me see how you play." So he's like, "Here, put this song on." He handed me a record, and I put the song on. He's like, "Oh, that's pretty good. All right, how about this song?" And then I threw that song on. He's like, "All right, I'll bring some records next week."
That's dope.
So I brought my records, played a set, and then he was like, "Yo, man, you should just play with me here every week." And then he started taking me to like freestyle session and Out for Fame. We started doing all these big b-boy events, like Fury Styles Crew Anniversary in like in Arizona. He put me down with the crew. We were doing events in Santa Barbara. We would do like team routines. So being with Abel and the Factions crew really helped me develop my skill, and then working with a team, working with a crew, and then kind of just bouncing ideas off of them. So
Yeah, and then performing for dancers is really a really great way to forge your skill and take
for
that
sure.
to the
Yeah.
nightclub because moving them, I mean, they are particular and they are, they are strict on if it's whack, they are not going to throw down to it. So,
Yeah.
so building that energy for b-boys and seeing them go off is so inspiring. I had similar experience with, dancing with b-boys and professional dancers early in my LA career. I had some friends that were choreographers and they would all come to the clubs early because I would be the opener and I'd be able to have the freedom to play some of their breaks and some of the stuff that they wanted to get down to. And it was just an amazing experience to build a room full of dancers is just a different kind of high for a DJ. Because, you know, it's one thing to see a crowd dancing when you're seeing fools throw down and go off and like, and you know that you are a part of that. It's just a different thrill. So that makes a lot of sense of why you were able to transition well from the battle scene, because you're also helping them battle, right? Like it's
Yeah,
not about it didn't become about you so much. It came about the music and the dancers. So that's how, you know, a lot of battle DJs don't have that balance because they're just about them showing off their technical skills and sometimes lose the crowd, right?
yeah.
And because crowd don't know what you're doing, you're just making a bunch of sound effects and noises that they're like, what, can I just hear the song? But the b-boy stuff is like, you got to flow. You also include the technical skills of the scratches and the word plays and the timing for them. So that makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. I didn't know that. That's super dope.
Hey man, people forget the DMC stood for Disco Mixing Club.
Right.
What's about whole
Right.
before it got all super technical? Like there was a very specific period when everybody was trying to like out technical each other, but it was dope. Stage presence, people were fucking breakdancing on the turntables. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like holding shit upside down. But like I feel like probably after the 2000s, then it started to feel like everybody was just playing catch up. You know what I mean? That's why when Red Bull 3 style came out, and when the mixing battles came out, it was cool because then we could just kind of get back to the music, get back to the crowd, and then find more interesting ways of like bringing the songs together and like testing out. Like a comedian would test out punchlines
Right.
at a comedy club, right? Like, all right, how does this make people react? And just kind of like bring your best out in those
And the
competitions.
technology had stepped up as well. By the time three style had come out, it became more of, you know, there's more tools for you to use to be more creative. You know,
Yeah,
we could sample our own voices. We could sample movie lines without having to rip it. You know what I mean? Like you could actually, your creativity and imagination was limitless with
yeah,
the technology. And that's what I loved about three style is like, it really allowed you to get crazy with it, you know, and very, very personal, and be able to call out, you know, your competition and create, you know, real battle routines that were specific to the people you were competing against.
for sure. But also forced you out of your comfort zone if you were only stuck to one genre, right?
Right, right, right.
The pull from all these different fields. Like, do you know how to rock a house crowd? Do you know how to rock a pop crowd? You know what I mean? Like all that, all
Yeah.
encompassing.
What goes, how long does it take to prepare a battle set for you? And not only prepare, but prepare yourself mentally. Like, are you like an athlete to where, you know, you train and practice and rep and then piece it together by chunks? Or does it take weeks to kind of draw it out? Like, what does that process look like for you?
I could be a bad example because I'm such a procrastinator and I wait till last minute. So, for example, right? So for this last DMC, I was always back and forth about whether I wanted to do it or not, and it was just like, all right, we'll see what's up. So deadline was whatever day it was, it was due by 11:59 on that day. Right? Day comes, and I was like, all right, I'll just put something together. I think it was like a minute and a half or whatever. Maybe it was like 3 minutes. I was like, I think I could put together 3 minutes, and I started at 6 p.m. working on that set, and I just pulled from like things that I've used before because, mind you, I'm still doing showcases and stuff. Prior to I'd go to trade shows, do showcases over there, like these little mini sets or like things that I'd use for IG 1 minute reels and stuff like that. So I just kind of like piece things together, try to figure out other like new stuff that I wanted to add and how I was going to tweak it. So I think I started around 6. Then by the time 10 p.m. came around, I was like, all right, let me start putting these 3 minutes together. So I would put it together, practice it, tweak it. And I think I started recording at like 11:20,
Jeez.
11:30, and then I was able to knock it out in one take. So then I sent the audio back to my phone, synced it up with the video, put it on my computer, and then the email stamp said 11:59 p.m.
Damn. Last minute. Do you enjoy that pressure of
Well,
putting it?
I hate it about it, but it brings out the best in you. You I mean like when when you see people that like, damn, I have to go up against this person. You study that person, and then you try to figure out what it's going to take to beat that person. Like all of that is in the process of competition, and like I don't go in a competition for the sport of it, I'm trying to go in and win, right? From the jump. Like that's the goal. It's not to prove who I am. Well, that's like when I did Paris, that was just I just wanted to get my name in Europe.
International, yeah.
But generally, if I'm going in, I'm going in for the kill. And I do that just by studying my opponents, seeing what they bring to the table, how I can kind of defeat them. Like, let's say they're better at scratching than me. Fuck, what else could I do? That'll kind of overshadow their scratching. That people be like, oh yeah, his cuts are dope, but Dynamix's ideas might be a little better. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and I noticed that you add a lot of personality into your battle sets too. Like, there's some comedy in there as well, which kind of I think that you have that background of your personality comes through in your battle sets, and a lot of times, or in my opinion, that the judgment, it can be as technical and perfect as you can be, but if you're just a robot up there with no personality, the personality is going to connect me to you a lot more than just your robotic technical skills. Am I right on that?
Yeah, 100%. And I'm a drama geek, so I kind of grew up on stage, right? From like middle school and high school, I would compete in drama as well.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So like I learned staging and how to be expressive on stage. But that's not to say that like I still don't get stage fright and it's daunting when I'm up there. But I think especially in competitions where all eyes are 100% on you, you gotta do. I had to force myself to break out and like just become this character.
I was gonna say, do you tap into an alter ego, kind of like your superhero, put on your cape and become Dynamics rather than Ellis,
Yeah,
right?
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not like I don't feel like I'm overly animated when I'm at the nightclub. Right? It's more about like, all right, who's enjoying the song? Should I continue on this path or should I switch it up?
Yeah, reading the room.
Yeah,
And I think that's one of the reading the room is that's an important thing that comes up a lot, is that a lot of people just do what they do and don't read the room, especially in this era of DJing, which has become more look at me rather than here's this is for you, and do you is that just something that is do you guys focus on that in the at the schools, or is that just kind of comes with experience?
focus on reading the crowd
Yeah,
and
like making sure that the students look up and make sure they know that they're connecting or not with the crowd, like rather than just focus on their patterns and hand movements.
yeah, yeah, yeah. To be honest, I haven't been at the school for a minute. Like, but the last class I taught was moving from Serato to record box and playing off flash drives because I know that was something that a lot of DJs wanted to learn too. It's a good backup to add to your skill set for whatever reason. Say your computer freezes or Serato isn't working, or you're in front of CDJs and you don't know how to work them. Like it's just good to have that in as a backup. So it's very easy to have a flash drive, a thumb drive in your pocket, and just be able to pop it in and start going.
Yeah,
So
and it also takes you off of the screen and more engaged with what's going on in front of you, because
yeah,
a lot of people get caught up in just watching that screen and digging for songs, and kind of minimizes the amount of songs that you have. It
yeah,
causes you to know where you're going to go because you just have a small section, one or two. I mean, they have huge flash drives now, but usually
yeah,
it's much more curated sets.
yeah. It's 100% more curated. The preparation is a little bit different. So you can still get overwhelmed with the amount of music in a flash
For
drive,
sure.
but it's probably a lot more manageable versus being on a laptop. Because I mean, I don't know about you, man, but I have probably like 3,000 crates.
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of crates. I've actually been deleting. I threaded this the other day. I've been deleting a lot more music that I've been adding lately, because as DJs, we want to always be prepared for everything, right? Like, oh, you have this? I might. Yeah, let me dig. But there's a lot of stuff that is just taking up space. And now with the streaming services, if I really need something, I could just stream it if it exists. So that takes a lot of weight off of the hard drive, which, if we want to be efficient and have sometimes less is more, instead of having to dig.
Yeah, because like looking through a million songs, it just takes away so much time from choosing the right song to go to next, right?
Right.
And so having those tools to be able to be like, okay, cool, like I'm in this bag, we're just gonna go here, 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 here. It's a lot easier to manage than just like looking at a list of songs and just going by BPM, like same range, I guess. Let's just go with this.
Yeah, let's slap it in.
Yeah. So
I wanted to touch on some of your television exposure that you were able to get with the Master of the Mix. How was that experience for you?
it was great, man. It was great being on a TV show with friends already. And I knew Chris before the show, Chris Carnes, Tina
Tina was
T.
on there. Yep.
Yeah. JCO, I feel like I've seen him here and there already. Like, and then meeting everybody else on there. Felt really after the first day, you know what I mean? Like in that first day when there was like 20 of us or whatever, it was just like there were some characters in there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But after it got whittled down, like everybody was cool and everybody had each other's back. You know what I mean? Which is kind of weird for a competition reality show, but like everybody was just cool. We were just like showing off what we do in the process, and we just did
Yeah,
what
and
we could.
being able to interact with some of those judges on there. I know Key Capri was on there.
Yeah.
There was a couple other judges and guest judges as well.
Yeah. They had the EC twins on there. Mia Moretti was a judge too. She was like one of the main judges, and then it wasn't like I think it was an A&R.
Was there any, I know with reality shows, some competitions, they try to produce like interesting TV. Were there any points where like, okay, I need you to say this, and can you say this to make this person say this, and then kind of feeding you guys information to cause maybe some chaos on the show?
Yeah, but we're so cool with each other. We're like, I don't even.
Yeah. Like, I don't think so. That's not something I would say.
Yeah. So I don't think we were trying to ruffle too many feathers.
Yeah.
We kept everything all in good fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was too much drama, which is probably why they didn't continue it.
Because there wasn't enough chaos. It was too friendly.
Yeah, it might have been, but it was a great experience, man. And it just like that first day was crazy because they didn't give us any practice time. So for episode 1, whatever came out was just whatever we had in our heads. It was like, all right, you got to do this set. And we're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's a bag of here's a crate. Do something with it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was just like, we got to showcase whatever it is that
Brought you to
probably
the table
with.
Mhm.
And so, since we didn't have an area for practicing for day 1, I saw Chris Carnes miming his routine. Like, so he was just like in his head and he's like moving his hands. And I was like, oh, brilliant. So
Yeah.
then I started practicing my set in the same way. Cause I was like, I know I have to push this button and then I have to drop this here. I have to drop that there. And then I'm going to do this thing here. And then like, I would just visually like see the equipment in front of me and what I'm supposed to press. And then I would know when I'm messing up and I was like, oh, hold on, let me re-practice that. So when I had to step up and do my thing, it was pretty spot on what I wanted to do. And like, it came off really well. So
That's
I'm glad
amazing.
I got Chris do that.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of athletes do. They visualize their performance in their mind and pantomime it before they get on the field or the pitch or whatever the rink or whatever the court, whatever they're going to do. And that's a huge part of it, connecting those neural links in your brain to visualize, imagine, and then perform. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of similarities between, athletics and what we do as an art form, because it does all start in your mind. Everything does. So, that's part of the being successful, I think, is a key to one of the success. You have to imagine yourself being successful. Imagine the flow of the night. I do this all the time. I sit here before a gig and be like, okay, here's where I want to go. Here's what I want to do. I want to see the crowd react. I know it's going to be about this time. I want to have these records ready to go when it's prime time. If it's a slow burn, if nobody shows up till 12, I know not to light the gas, not to put my foot on the gas too soon. You just kind of play it out in your head. And I think that's a huge part of the game that comes with, the experience of years. Because a lot of kids just think, we talk about this all the time, is they just come in and play banger after banger after banger after banger. And it's just not the right time for it, So you have to kind of set yourself up to be able to pace yourself and go through the pace of the room. And as people are filling in, or the energy or whoever you're playing after or before, to get it right.
Yeah, I mean, and then you can't blame them too much, right? Because their point of reference is social media, right?
Yeah.
And
So obviously he's
social
the
media
best of the
just
best.
kind of look for the reaction. So they're like, oh, that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're just all right. Let's. So when I'm doing my set, that's what I got to chase. I got to chase that thing. But yeah, I think now in the age of like YouTube DJing, it's cool to have those sets where it's just like, oh, this is just a mellow out set. It's just me and these plants in this room, and we're gonna vibe out. And like, it's good to see stuff like that. You know, your Sunday cleanings too, and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, a lot of businesses are just playing YouTube sets of DJs, that
Yeah,
are just playing vibes. It's not even about keeping it hype or getting the crazy room. It's just an hour or an hour and a half of just cool background music or just a nice vibe that builds and ups and downs with the flows. I mean, I work at this hookah lounge. They're playing, you know, videos on the LED screen of just chill Afro beats and house music and R&B, 90s R&B. And anytime it starts to get too crazy, some of these sets get too hype, like, oh, this ain't the video for this time, So it's an amazing outlet and great exposure. How is your YouTube sets going? Because I know you do a lot of short clips. Are you doing any
yeah.
longer sets on YouTube?
I've shot a few. I have some that were like live sets. I have some that are specifically for YouTube. One in particular, it's just not out yet.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I'm excited about that one because I got to like really like craft a fun vibey set because it was in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different
I was like,
energy.
I love doing stuff like that because it's just so it's like a nice break from like a typical like prime time set or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's I like doing a lot of like doing corporate events. I like doing like YouTube stuff like that. Definitely want to dive deeper into that a lot sooner than later. Just because now I have so many ideas of different things that I want to do, but it's just a matter of kind of finding out how to execute it properly.
Yeah, I found that DJing is so popular now that there's an occasion, every occasion there's a right set for every occasion DJing. There's dinner sets, there's brunch sets, there's barbershop, beauty salon, nail salon, there's fish markets, which I know that you did. That was an amazing turnout for that. That was
For Seafood City,
the Seafood City. Yeah.
yo
So,
man, that
how was
thing,
that experience?
yeah. So we, that was like a viral thing before
Yeah.
I got to do it. And then we have one here by the crib, and my wife was like, "Oh my god, you got to do this one by the house. I'm gonna talk to the manager. I'm gonna find out how you do." I was like, "I don't think that's how that works." I was like, "I don't think that the management books the DJs. I gotta find out who's throwing these parties and who's organizing it. I gotta get in it with them, like see if I can kind of like get on the list. I don't think they know who I am. Like we'll see what's up. You know what I mean?" And so she's all like trying to work tirelessly on it. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to work. And then I end up at an event and, this homie goes up to me. He's like, "Oh my God, Dynamix." I was like, "Yo, what's up?" He's like, my name is Jet. It's a pleasure to meet you. I just flew in from Asia and I'm here with the Seafood City guys. Would you want to do the set next week? And I was like, what?
Wow.
That is wild. He's like, "Yo, I swear to God, I got off the plane and I was like, who would be great for Seafood City? Fuck, we gotta get Dynamics." And I was like, "What the fuck? That's what you thought?" And then you meet me right now. This is crazy. That
Crazy how the universe lines
all
up,
this
huh?
kind of like,
Your
yeah,
wife
yeah, yeah.
manifested that for you.
She did. And then as soon as he told me about that, I just got on the phone. I was like, "Hey, I think I got the gig." "What gig?" "The gig." He goes, "What? You got Seafood City?" I was like, "Yeah." And then, dude, we were so super excited about it. I there's a party in LA called Manila Sound, right? In Lincoln Heights. You know what's funny is my childhood friends invited me to that. I was kind of like, I think I was in downtown LA to go check out one of the homies, and then I was on the way home, and then my homies from elementary school hit me up. They're like, "Yo, you gotta come to this Filipino party in Lincoln Heights." And I was like, "Yeah, I gotta go home, man. I gotta finish up this work and stuff like that." "No, no, no, just come here for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes." And I was like, I mean, I guess it's on the way. Let me see, right? And I was like, "Oh, traffic sucks." I was trying to make up every excuse. They're like, "No, no, no, just come. I'll pay for parking. It'll be all great." Right? They're not even Filipino. Invited me out. And so I get there and it's just this crazy backyard party. and like it's everyone from like 21 to like 91, and everybody's singing and dancing. They're playing like Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. They're playing Filipino family songs. They're playing like new edits, and I was like, what? And everybody's partying together and singing, and I was like, this is amazing. And so after that, I was like, I need to put my set together for this,
Yeah.
just in case, right? And end up seeing the DJs. I was like that's the homies from the beach hockey school, you know what I mean? And like that's like the students and like crew, and so I was like, man. So I started putting that set together, and that's the set kind of that I used for the foundation for the Seafood City set.
Okay. Isn't it
Yeah.
crazy how some of the worst, some of the things that you don't want to do, and then you do it, and it works out to be the best move you ever made? It happens to me all the time. My wife always has to tell me, like, I'm like, same thing. I don't feel like going. I'm tired. It's going to be a hassle. I got to drive. I got to, come back. It's, and she's like, just go. You always say this, and then you end up having the best time. You see all your friends, and now you come home with 3 new gigs,
Yeah.
So anytime I've learned later in life to anytime I get that urge to not do something, that I gotta go ahead and force myself, because it'll always work out in the end.
Yeah. I didn't want to do Master of the Mix. I did it
Why not?
because like for season 1 and season 2, when you know what I mean, when those were happening, you were just doing like, I thought they were doing like corny challenges, like who's gonna be the fastest to race up the stairs with this crate of records. I was like, what does that have to do with anything? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I didn't want to do it. It was my homie was like, I got you the audition. All you have to lose, all you have to do is just show up and play. I'm like, all right. So I showed up, I did my thing, got the call back, and eventually got on the show, and that changed my whole life.
Yeah. Opened so many doors
Yeah,
and national exposure. I mean,
yeah,
if you would have skipped that, you would have, who knows where you'd be? You'd be still scraping and crawling to still make a name for yourself. So
right,
good move.
100%.
Who was that homie who pushed you on to do that?
It was the homie Marcus.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Marcus.
yeah, yeah,
Big
yeah.
ups, Marcus.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I want to talk about some world travels. I know you just got back from Australia.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I know that was an anniversary trip for you and your wife. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, it was we were out there for my wife's wedding, and then we just happened to still be out there for our anniversary. So like I had the cousins help me like organize the logistics.
Oh, cool. Was that your first time out there?
Yeah, it was my first time out there. Like she's been out there before. So like mine and the kids' first time. And
Dope.
it was
So tell me about Australia. Is it crazy? I mean, I hear about huge bugs and crazy animals. Like it's
we were out in the suburbs, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? I think a lot of it is like closer to the outback, right? Or the
yeah,
desert.
yeah.
But we did go to the zoos. We did try to see like all of the animals that we could out there, but I didn't see any of like the funnel web spiders. I did get warned of like birds that'll come and attack you and like peck at your head, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I didn't experience that.
Yeah, thank God.
But yeah, no, it's just it was a beautiful place, and just the how the fam organized it. It was amazing. Every day we were just like doing something new and having the time of our lives. Every generation had their crew to hang out with. You know what I mean? Like the grandparents had their crew to hang out with. Us parents and middle aged cousins had our time to hang out. The little kids had their group. Man, it was just like a crazy time for everybody. It was just like a party for 2 weeks.
That's cool, man. Yeah, it's important to have like a itinerary, that when you're traveling for that long, or else you get bored, stuck, wasting a bunch of money and on doing nothing,
Yeah,
So that's
but
dope
it
that you
didn't
had that.
feel like rushed. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
just felt like family time.
Do you have out of all your world travels, do you have a favorite place that you've been?
I love Singapore. Ecuador was dope. Ecuador was dope, and it was like unexpected, and I got to experience that whole culture, and they were so hospitable. And it was the Venezuelans in Ecuador who ended up kind of like being my translators. They don't all speak English very well, so that helped. But it was just a dope experience to like be out there, play the club for a few days, walk around, and experience the culture. Like whenever I travel out, like I just try to see like the local spots and like all the cultural stuff, and just kind of like immerse myself in that world. Because when am I gonna get the opportunity to do that again? It
Right.
may not happen again. So
Did you find that a lot of the other DJs out there were embracing you, or did you ever have any kind of conflict or friction with any other guys? I know if I've traveled in my travels, I've had both worlds. I've had open arms hospitality, and I've also had who the fuck does this guy think he is?
No, I feel like I probably lucked out in that sense. You know what I mean? Like everybody was pretty hospitable, and I was out there. You know, they don't like Selena in Ecuador.
They don't.
I played
And
Selena.
did you
They were
find
like,
that out the hard way? Did you find that out the hard way?
yeah, I just looked over at like the other guys. They're just like, "Don't switch it up," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I went into like Celia Cruz. They're like, "Yes,
Yeah,
totally fine."
that's better. That's better.
My bad.
Yeah, because I did find that, in other, like, people will clear the floor a lot fast. They're like a lot more in tune with what they like and what they don't like. And especially
Yeah,
like a lot of new music sometimes, like especially like in Switzerland, if I was playing new music they never heard, so they're not gonna they don't react at all. In fact, they're standing around looking around like, they're not open to any. I found that a lot of older music worked better than the new
yeah,
music. And I thought
yeah,
that being from Hollywood, I'm gonna bring the new music and they're gonna blow their minds. And they were like, no, play something old that we know.
yeah. That we can sing along to. That's nostalgia.
Yes.
That we have memories tied to. Yeah,
Especially with the language barrier, right? Because the new music they don't know the words to, and they may not speak a lick of English, but they can sing Journey, Don't Stop Believing, like they wrote it, you know?
yeah, yeah. No, it's true, and it's good to learn like regional records, man. When I was
Yeah.
out in Australia, I got to link up with K Time out there, and he was teaching me about like all this new stuff. Because the way when he told me what club we are gonna go to, I looked at the club, I looked at the party, and it seemed like it was gonna be a hip hop R&B night. When I got there, it was hella Amapiano, and then like I forgot what the genre is of like it's almost like French, what do you call it, like the like French soca. Right,
Okay.
they're like so good, and they were going crazy for that and the Mapiano edits, but it was just like stuff that I never heard of, and like Shata, and which is like was like new dance hall kind of stuff, and I was like, this is fucking dope. I know nothing of it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it's
but it
this
also allows you
art.
to come back with those records, right? Like, so you
Yeah,
got treasure
yeah,
instead of you bringing to them, they actually gifted you with some stuff to bring back here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. 100%, man. So it's always dope to go out and explore different areas and experience the nightlife out there and build those contacts and those references that'll be able to put you on like, oh, when you're here, play this. These are the big records for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It always helped. And I think I first learned about that when I was doing like cruise ships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we would have.
Which company did you work for?
I was doing a lot of like the Royal Caribbean stuff.
Okay.
And that was tight. I would, because you're not on there for terribly long. It was like,
I was gonna say, how long is that mission?
yeah. So
How
you'd be on
long?
there for like 2 to 4 tours. So that's like 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
And sometimes at the end of the 4 weeks, I'm like, damn, it's over already. I want to stay.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because my retirement plan is actually to try and get on these cruise ships and host and DJ on the cruise ships. While for me and my wife does hair, so she can do
Yeah.
hair on the ship and I can DJ and MC these events and travel the world and live on a boat and and eat buffet food all day, So I know DJ Analyze does a lot of cruise ships too, so I want to pick her brain about how that can possibly work. And the compensation I'm sure is decent. To live on a boat for a couple weeks at a time.
Yeah. It really depends on which company you work for and what you have to do. But yeah, no, Anna's been killing it with it on that. And it's fun, man. Like when I was doing it, I had a lot of fun doing it, and I was able to bring a guest on. So I brought my wife one time, I brought a homie on one time. So it's great, but you have to, be comfortable being by yourself amongst strangers for an extended period of time. But you
Yeah.
build relationships early on, and that was the cool thing about when I started doing the cruise ships. The guys that I would shadow kind of taught me the ropes. You know what I mean? Like build relationships with the bartenders, like do this with the managers, and then you'd meet the resident DJs, and the resident DJs would be cool. You just swap music with them, and then like music would be such an important bartering tool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And relationship building tool with the staff on there, so that like after that first few days of like meeting everybody and and like taking care of them, then they start taking care of you. Then there's no limits when it comes to like drinks that you want. You know what I mean? You get to meet the kitchen staff. You can get special meals prepared, stuff like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I think that's a great point, and it's not only on the ships, but that's a great relationships to have in all the gigs that we have, right? We want to be cool with the manager. We want to make
Yeah.
sure the bartenders are enjoying themselves. We want to make sure securities, we're making their life easy, kind of get to know them, play some of the songs that they like or some of the transitions that it's just building the relationship, which actually ends up being extending your career, extending your residency,
Yeah, and
extending
it's
these.
beneficial for the nightclub because what everybody's working in synergy, like the experience is better for everybody.
Yes.
Patrons and
Yeah.
staff alike.
I want to talk about some of the new residencies you have. I know you have the crazy, sexy, cool party that you have
Yeah.
going now, and talk to me about that. How that came about. I know you used to do snapback, and these throwback parties are hot. And me and Adam talked about this from effects and a
Did
lot
you
of the
guys get to talk
parties.
about like Giorgio's too?
Yeah, Giorgio's. Yeah, we talked about that, and
So
just
that was
how some of these things came about, and the niche of good programming, which is crucial, right? Picking the
yeah.
right DJs for the right genres and the right
Yes.
experience.
Yeah.
So talk to me about a little bit about your process with that.
Thank you. Yeah. So I was already a resident at Bungalow Long Beach, right? And thank you to Steve Wonder for
Yeah, shout
bringing
out to Steve Wonder, Steve Dubb. He was doing a lot of stuff over there, right? Yeah.
Dubs doing it with like Golden Hour right now too. So yeah, I was doing Saturdays at Bungalow Long Beach, and then the owner, she was like, "Yo, I have to move you to Thursdays, but I want you to come up with a party and just pitch me whatever it is the concept is, and I want you to be able to bring in guests." And I was like, "This is fucking awesome!" Like I've been wanting to be put in a position where I can bring the homies on and then they can play and I can help kind of curate the night. But I never wanted to throw a party because it just seemed like so daunting. Like I never wanted to be an entrepreneur and I didn't want to throw my own party because I don't like being responsible for other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that
It's
was
not an
just
easy job.
like, fuck. I have to like organize all this shit and like, but it was an opportunity that was thrown to me and I was just like, all right, cool. Well, now I could bring homies in, I could kind of curate the night and see how that works. So I wanted it to be a 90s night just because I wanted it to be something that I'm already familiar with and something that I know and something that I know how to curate, right? So I wanted it to be this whole experience. I wanted it to be interactive, right? So that we have like the retro candies. I was like, we gotta have like the cigarette bubblegum candies in there and like stuff like that. One like maybe let's have the retro board games out. So in case it's early and there's not a ton of people there, there's still things for people to do. You know what I mean? Theming and I wanna play like I wanted to have like VH1 pop-up video for on all of the screens because it's dope because like not only are you watching music video, but you also see like the little behind the scenes facts and stuff that are it's in the music video. But I just wanted it to be this whole atmosphere, especially because Bungalow feels like you're at a big beach house. There's different rooms that you're in. You know what I mean? There's the living room. There's the
It's like a
backyard
house
patio.
party.
Yeah, you're overlooking the water. Like there's a room with a pool table. It just feels like the parents aren't home and like you just invited all the homies to come over and you just throw a party. And that's what I wanted it to feel like, right? And then as far as the music goes, I wanted it to be all encompassing throughout the 90s because of the oversaturation of R&B parties, because of the oversaturation of hip hop parties being everywhere. I was like, man, I want to have a safe space for DJs to just be able to get loose on some 90s stuff and be able to play like Amber, This Is Your Night, play, I'm Too Sexy, like all that shit we didn't get to play before because it was like not cool.
Right.
But people still have fun with. You know what I mean? When girls hear the vinyls, I touch myself like, fuck, this song is fucking great. I don't hear this anywhere. I want to be able to go somewhere where I can hear shit like this because where else am I gonna go? I'm trying to fill a void of like, I was like, fuck, there's way too many parties that are trying to be cool. I just want to throw a party that's fun.
Right.
Right?
It's kind of like a jukebox, right? There's so many options instead of just the set programming of we're
Yeah.
only playing this. Everybody in
Yeah.
the 90s were such a great era of so many genres: rock, pop, house,
Yeah.
hip hop, R&B,
And also
soul,
fashion.
slow jams.
You know what I mean?
You
I
know what?
wanted people to like dress up. So it was cool seeing strangers come in and they're like decked out in 90s gear. I was like, this is amazing. Like, you know what I mean? That people can experience it. And like, it's fun to dress up for a big party sometimes and just get into the moment that way and then hear songs that take you back and it feels nostalgic and it feels fun. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
people are into the experience now rather
yes,
than just it's a whole experience. They want to time travel for real. Now,
for real.
do you find that the crowd is a mixture of, Gen Xers, millennials, and also younger kids? I've seen a lot of pictures. It looks like I'm like, damn, these girls are pretty young to be in, 90s are back because the TikTok has opened up the lanes for, reminding people and creating buzz on these artists that may have been off the Billboard top to 100 for a while, but now it's boosting their sales again. So is it a good blend of age
It
groups?
is. It is. It is. It's so like I was super happy about that. But then I wanted to, that's why it's great to have like my oldest there and have my niece there because like they're in that age range. They're a good frame of reference of, okay, what is it? What is your experience of the 90s, right? Like,
Yeah,
not your experience, but like when you think of the 90s, what are the things that resonate with you that don't
right,
resonate with us,
right.
right?
Yeah, like you mentioned, the stuff that it wasn't cool to us, but is cool to them now. Like
Yeah.
shit we would never play in the 90s is now like top are bangers for them.
Did you ever think Kanye West was going to sample Backstreet Boys?
Right, right.
Who would have thought? And so I just, yeah, that was the cool part about it too. And then also like bringing in younger DJs as well as like the seasoned vets because I want to know what the younger DJs were gonna play. And like man, when I had the younger guys come in and they would rock and they would just go all over the place and you'd see all the Gen Zers go crazy and even like the millennials like, oh my god, I can't believe you play this song.
Yeah, because we have a certain idea. We're kind of like a little bit stuck. We were there, so
Yeah,
we know what was happening then, but they can only imagine. So their minds are way more open than ours ever could be. So that's the one thing I do like about that. Because some parties, me and Adam spoke about this about, they didn't know what was happening then, but that's a gift and a curse, right? So they can they don't have to know, they can just have their perspective on it and express that, and their generation will understand it. We may be like, whoa, what, I can't,
yeah,
like you said, I can't believe you're playing that. I would never play this. But then you see the reaction, be like, okay, I'm adding that to the fucking crate.
right, 100%. That was the thing too, is because I wanted to learn from them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's cool to throw a party and then curate it. It's another thing to be able to step back and watch other people like deliver their idea of your vision and just be like, oh shit, I never would have thought to go there. I never would have thought to do this. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it was just I knew in this point in time and where the nightlife and DJ scene is that throwing a party was something that I needed to learn how to do. So that's also why I took it on. And being able to learn on the job and have a beautiful venue like Bungalow is, I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, that's a blessing. And we have to extend not only our own careers, but also create lanes for other DJs to grow, exchange growth. They're learning from us and we're learning from them. And I think that's the great thing about what we do is that it's a fair exchange. A lot of
Yeah.
times, closed minded, doesn't grow. And then people retire and then they become bitter and you get these, old DJs that are mad at the young generation instead of like what you're doing, obviously, is learning from them, applying it to yourself, and they actually taking years off of your while adding years to your experience, also keeping yourself fresh and young.
Yeah. And I think I learned that from teaching at the DJ schools.
Yeah.
Because when you start teaching, you're just like, okay, I'm the older head. I know my
I know
experience
everything. Yeah.
to these kids. So you're just like, whoa, why didn't I never think to approach it that way? And
Yeah. I think
so,
that's great. That
yeah,
definitely is, adds to your longevity, and extends your career by being able to grow and expand off of what we're learning from these new generation of DJs that have only known technology and only known these advancements and had, they have basically have DJ superpowers because there's nothing that they can't imagine that they can't do. And I
yeah,
think that And for a little while, at the beginning of the Serato and everything, I was like trying to hold on for the old guys and be OG and not switch to Serato because you can't trust technology and whatnot. But now it's ended up being the best gift to ever have. I mean, to have your entire collection and then some with you at once. I mean, do you remember dragging out 5 crates, but you only play the 1 crate section, but you have 5 crates just in case. Now you
Yeah,
have an infinite amount of records and can get as experimental and utilize your imagination as much as possible. So I'm
yeah,
definitely on that boat ride of opening up my mind to the younger generation as well. So, hats off to you for that and embracing that and throwing this party that is, not that is open-minded and open format, because there's so many parties that are just doing the same thing redundantly, copy and paste.
yeah. When I
So
was pushing it in the beginning, I have a Spotify playlist for it, and like I was like, all right, we're playing Desiree, You Gotta Be. We're gonna play Ironic by Alanis Morissette, but also like Playground by Another Bad Creation, and
right.
you know what I mean? Just all this stuff that sparks nostalgia and still like pulls you in. Still like even freaking I have a Coca-Cola commercial jingle that.
Right. Connecting generations through nostalgia, I think is the perfect explanation for it. The best parties have 21-year-olds, 31-year-olds, 41s, 51, like the Filipino heritage party, like the seafood supermarket party. That's how we
Yeah.
grew up, in these family parties, where it was our little
Yes,
cousins, babies, aunts, uncles, grandparents. I mean, those are the best parties, when everyone can be in the same place and have the same uplifting experience.
100%,
Yeah,
100%, man.
I want to take on my podcast, I kind of try to peel back the layers on some of the things that it takes for us to have long careers and stay healthy, because we do live in a stressful environment that we're surrounded by alcohol and party and nostalgia and a high amounts of hits of dopamine. I want to know some of the things that you do to take care of yourself mentally and physically when it's time to decompress and take off the cape and take off the mask and be who you are without DJing. So what are some of the things that you enjoy? I know your children have a big part of that, your wife as well, but what are some of the things in specific that you do to make sure that you maintain your health?
Yeah, of course, I mean, like, because I have kids, I want to be around for as long as possible to continue to guide them. So, I pretty adamant about, like, getting my labs done and seeing, like, "Okay, what does my blood work say? Where's my levels at?" Because I know for me, since, like, my 20s, my cholesterol has been super sensitive, and I don't know if that's just, like,
That's Filipino culture.
yeah, I was gonna say,
That's
so, like,
island life. I'm Puerto Rican. I get the same. Cholesterol is delicious food is what it is.
so what I
Christmas every day.
yeah. Exactly. So like I recently I did my blood work. I think it was like last September last year, and it was like through the roof. Like your triglycerides are supposed to be under 150. I was at 780, right? And so I was like, all right, cool. Like I've done this before. I know what I need to do. But now we have things like Claude AI, where I can just be like, all right, cool. Hey, check it out. This is my levels. This is what I eat. These are my habits. Of course, I want to get back to like normal levels. What do I have to do? I just had to write out what the plan was. I had to abstain from alcohol for at least 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Mhm.
So I went sober for like a month. I didn't want to do like a specific diet and divert from what I'm already eating because I cook all the food, right? So like I know what goes into my food, so I can just all I have to do is make adjustments. So I gave it my recipe book and had it just rewrite it so that it just tweaks it, and then I'm just a little bit healthier, right? And it takes out things that I don't need and replaces them with things that will help me achieve my goals. And then I had it write out an exercise regimen too. I was like, man, this beer belly sucks. I want to get it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had it write that out for me too. And then from there, it's just a matter of, all right, what's the plan? Let me just execute the plan. And I think, yeah, in a month, everything dropped to normal.
Love that.
So
I love the execution of the interaction with the technology, right? The AI. I do the same thing with not only my health, but my finances and my plans of execution of how to get my, schedule going, helping me with this podcast, how to promote it and how to utilize all my resources to make sure that it's successful. And I think that the AI is utilized as a tool to give you the plan is cool, right? But then you have to execute. You actually have to do the steps, right? You have to take action on the plan, and it definitely has helped immensely. So
and
I
then
feel that.
I report back too, like I missed a day of exercise, or you know what, this one didn't taste the way I wanted it to taste. How can we tweak it so it tastes better, but it still doesn't like take away from my goals? And
Yeah,
then
just adjustments on the fly, right? It doesn't have to be completely strict and, line for line, but you find your equation, you find your balance on what's working and maybe step up or take down a couple things here and there and just make it your own.
yeah, 100%,
Dope.
man.
I love that. I love that. Man, I got
Yeah.
some rapid fire questions for you real quick. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got routines and parties to plan and children to feed and wife to pay attention to. So I do appreciate your time coming out here, man. It means a lot. I respect you a lot and look up to you and inspired by you forever. But I do have some questions, some rapid fire questions, and just answer, just answer honestly. And these will be awesome clips to cause people's panties to get in a bunch on the internet.
So
I'm just kidding. No, they're pretty simple. All right, ready? All right, vinyl or digital?
for what?
Just as an era, what do you love more, vinyl or digital era?
I like the digital because I can have more creative freedom. But I feel like now we're in a time where like everybody wants to do tangible or like have tangible things. People are buying records. People are using wired headphones rather than Bluetooth headphones. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
just getting to more of an analog time because everything is so digital and it feels so virtual. So
right. Physical media is back. People want to have things to collect again, right?
yeah, 100%.
All right. Serato or record box?
Serato, stems,
Turntables or controllers?
controllers.
Open
See,
format? What?
usually up here. See this? It's
Yeah.
usually a controller, but I was just practicing some stuff earlier, and so I
Yeah, I
had
go
to.
I go back and forth too. You got to stay sharp on everything. The more stuff you can use. I can make crappy equipment sound like $1,000,000 freaking. That's my goal, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah, yeah.
controller, I'll DJ on a goddamn payphone.
Yeah,
All right, all right. Open format or genre specific? I know the answer to this.
I like open format. I like the freedom. Yeah.
Day party or nightclub?
Day party.
Yes, day
Go
life
to
is the new
time.
nightlife, baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. What's your favorite sample to scratch?
That's yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I've been trying to work on like my phrasing with like sentences and stuff like that. But I still like
What
my.
is the most played record in your Serato?
I don't know. Probably Love Come Down plays a lot right now. And as far as like,
You got to look at the counter. There's a counter on there.
there is a counter on there. You're right. Here, let's do that. Okay.
We'll come back to that. What's the best crowd you've ever rocked?
You're not down. Fuck.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to John B and Angie
Yeah.
V. They got it going on. I better pull up to the next one. I haven't been because I've been booked, but I've got open Sundays. So the next one I'm definitely pulling up to.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
2,300 people of just going wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
And that's another one of those parties of generational partying together. Those are the best.
Yes. 100%.
Worst gig you've ever played?
I don't think I store those in my long-term memory.
Okay. delete. All right. What's the favorite? What's your favorite DJ battle you've ever won?
Red Bull 3 style. I want to say, yeah, just the whole like dealing with Red Bull as a company and like the team and like how they curate the whole experience is insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
felt like it was
Get
very
to know
professional and very,
well in the beginning.
but they're all about the DJ, and that's the important part. They give you all the tools to promote. They promote you hard. They give you the stage. They pack the room for you. Like it's
Yeah.
you just do what you do, and we'll take care of the rest. Hospitality.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the world finals and seeing like everybody all together, man, I want to have such FOMO. Like, damn it, I wish I was there.
That's
Yo,
dope.
you know what's crazy? What what the highest plays is on my
Yeah, what is
history?
it? What is it?
It's a Spice Girls. If you want to be my lover, edit.
Wow. That's your go-to.
I guess.
It must never miss with them ladies.
I don't feel like I'm recently.
Who's if you were to have a dream battle, who would you battle as a DJ?
If I had a dream
Like a
battle,
dream match.
would I battle as a DJ? Maybe Miles.
Miles.
I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I just so I can. I don't have to win. I just want to see where his mind takes him, and what he does for that.
Yeah, I think he's the next guest that you're not down.
Oh, is he really?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
That's super fun.
Okay, well, who's one DJ you want to collaborate with? Would that be Miles as well?
One DJ that I want to collaborate with. I think I'd want to do something more with Melody.
Yeah. He's got a great mind.
Yeah.
Super sick OG. Yeah. Just cleanliness.
For sure.
Flawless. Effortless.
Yeah.
It's just so dope. What is the best DJ advice you've ever received?
Probably just like how to build relationships with people, and only fucking with people that you genuinely enjoy working with.
Yeah, being authentic, right? Yeah, that's the key for me as well. If I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. No animosity, no hate, but it's just like that's what's saved. That's what's extended my career. What is your biggest DJ pet peeve?
What's my biggest DJ pet peeve? Terrible delivery on a mix.
Yeah.
Off key tone plays.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to know mine is the looped wordplay when it loops like 5, 6, 7 times. Like, listen, I got it. You don't. I love subtle wordplay. I don't need it beating me in the head. Right. I can't stand it loops 10 times. Then you bring in the next. Can't stand that. Anyway.
Well,
okay. What's harder, getting booked or staying booked?
Staying booked.
Staying booked.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Getting the opportunity is one thing. Executing on that opportunity and getting brought back is a whole other thing.
Right. I always say the only way to know if you really killed it is if they bring you back. Right. All right. One last question. I end this show with the same question for every person that's on here. And that is, if you were to go back and tell a young Dynamix one truth from the booth that you've learned as a DJ now to tell you as a young second grader that fell in love with this art, what would it be? But if you were to tell a young second grader or middle schooler who was first buying his equipment one truth from the booth about DJing, about your career, about your life, what would you give yourself? What gem would you drop on yourself?
Keep going, because it'll make all your dreams come true.
Yeah, never quit. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Well, man, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on here. One of the best in the world, not just my opinion. It's on record, right? You've got the trophies and the reputation and the resume to prove it. And it's an honor to have you here on The Truth from the Booth, not only as a fellow DJ, but I consider you a friend as well, an inspiration. I've told you this. I want to give you your flowers to your face, and too many times we don't give flowers. It becomes, this weird thing of guys just in the game without expressing how we feel. And that's not my way. And so I just want to express my gratitude for you for moving the culture forward, also and teaching the youth and being a mentor and an instructor and just being someone to look up to. And besides all that DJ stuff, a great father, a great husband, a great friend, and a great person. So just want to thank you for that, my man.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
No doubt.
This is great.
Of course. This is amazing. I want to shout out to everyone that has subscribed, all our new followers, all our new subscribers on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Thank you. Our numbers are growing every week. Our community is growing every week. Follow us on Instagram at The Truth from the Booth. We also have a website, thetruthfromthebooth.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on our YouTube channel at Truth from the Booth. and we will keep you updated with new episodes on Thursdays, right? Not only DJs, but entrepreneurs, anyone that has burned the boats to make their dreams come true. No turning back, living their dreams. That's what this show is all about. Actors, producers, artists, DJs, musicians, business owners. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you're living your dream and willing to share some of the journey and sacrifices you've made to make that happen. And we are just so grateful for all of you supporting the movement that is the Truth from the Booth. That's DJ Dynamix. I'm DJ Prophet. This is the Truth from the Booth. Bam, bam, bam. Do it.
Hey, can I give you something for like a little bonus thing?
Yeah, right now.
I made the longest intro ever for a mixtape I did back in high school, like around like senior year, maybe like the year after. I think it was senior because I sold it at school, but it was long. This is when scratch intros were, the beginning of mixtapes.
Yeah, every dope mixtape. Yeah.
And so like I made one, and I don't think a lot of people got a chance to hear it. I do love sharing it because man, it was like probably one of the best things I've made.
You got it right now?
Yeah, I'm going to send it to you right now.
Okay.
Let me see. Is there a chat that I could throw it in or something like that?
Only when we're live, but this is all, I don't go live yet, but you can text it to me, or you can play it. You can play it from your computer and we'll be able to hear it.
I can?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you open up your Serato, is it in there, or your MP3?
Yeah. How do I share my audio?
Well, I don't know if it'll allow you while we're recording.
If I use this, it might mute me, but you might be able to hear it. Just give me a thumbs up here. Can't change mic while we're recording. I can't. Never mind.
Oh. Well, share it. Put it on a link and I'll post it. Put it on SoundCloud. You got any, let them know where you can find you on social media.
But yeah, my Instagram is where I'm the most active, and that is at official DJ Dynamix with the X at the end. So OFFICIAL DJ DYNAMIX.
Dope. Well, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe to everything Dynamix has got going on. Check out his schedule. Make sure you go check out that crazy, sexy, cool party he's got going on Thursday nights, Bungalow Club, Huntington Beach.
Yes, sir.
Go represent. A lot of dope DJs, a lot of great nostalgia. Check it out and make sure you catch one of these battle sets coming up soon.
Well, I got this party coming up too called Flashback Rewind at the Compound in Commerce that is coming up. I think it's, what is it? What's that weekend? Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, Labor Day, September 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Sunday, September 6th. It's going to be at this spot called the Compound in Commerce. Flashback Rewind. So just pretty much all throwback stuff. You know what I mean?
Those are my favorites.
Nostalgic.
Nostalgia all day, baby. Word. Well, make sure you check them out. Thank you so much, Dynamix. Appreciate you, man. Once again, like, subscribe, comment. Sharing is caring. Don't hide it. Divide it. This is the Truth from the Booth. Dynamix, DJ Prophet. Until next time, we will see you. Bam, bam, bam. Do it.